We're beginning the second major part of the course, and this one is substantially harder than the first. In the first part of the course, we talked about the problems of philosophy. What are the problems? What makes something a philosophical problem? And we also talked about the pre-Socratics and even Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle in general terms, and we talked about the positions that they took on various problems of philosophy. Now we are going to, then we spent a short period of time, which was kind of the lead into this period of time, saying, well, how do you answer a philosophical question? And our answer was that we are going to look at the reasons that they give. That is, the reasons that they give amount to being arguments, and we talked a little bit about how to evaluate arguments. Well, now we get kind of the practical application. We're going to begin looking at some of the works of Plato and see what Plato had to say on some major subjects. And the first one that we're going to be looking at is Plato's Euthphro. Plato's Euthphro. And the first two slides that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to go through pretty quickly because we went through them in class and you heard about them. But I think it's helpful when you're looking at any major work of philosophy to try to divide up the work that you're talking about into chunks. Now, the dialogue, the Euthphro, and the version that we're using in our reading is really not very long. It's about 20 pages. But it's still worth chunking it out into smaller bits to see what's going on and then analyze things bit by bit. And if you see some of the numbers that I have there, these letters, like 3E, numbers and letters to 4A, there's a standard set of pages for a standard Greek text of all of Plato's works, and or all of Aristotle's works for that matter, and other philosophers' works. And this is the way things are paginated. These are the page numbers in those particular manuscripts. So it goes from a number that is the top of the page gives you the page number, and then it goes from A to E. So what we see is we start off, or Plato, I should say, starts off the Euthphro talking about Euthphro's indictment. And I asked you to think a little bit about what you thought about Euthphro's indictment, and take a look at the dictionary definition. Probably it'd be better off, even after number 2, but just to understand what the meaning of the word pious is, because it's very important. And we're going to see that with pre-Socratics, we were talking about issues in metaphysics and sometimes the implications for knowledge in epistemology. Now we're turning to the realm of ethics, because pious and piety, being pious, and take a look at what the dictionary says, religious observance really has something to do in the mind of ancient Greeks with what was morally right and wrong. So that's the first thing. We'll take a look at the indictment. It's kind of significant. Take a look at Socrates' initial reaction. Then it raises the question, and this is the basic question in the dialogue at 5D, Socrates' question. Then we'll see what Euthphro initially answers, and he doesn't quite understand how to get the right answer out, but Socrates explains what kind of answer he's looking for. We'll talk about that. Then we'll see Euthphro's first definition. We'll see Socrates' refutation of Euthphro's first definition. We'll go through that in some detail. And we will then consider Euthphro's second definition, probably in part 2. That's part 1. In part 2, we'll be looking at Socrates' refutation of this definition. And the rest, Socrates gives Euthphro a hint of what he's kind of missing, maybe, and he gets a third definition, and Socrates refutes that, number 12. And number 13, the dialogue ends that Euthphro is expected in court, so he has to go.